White Supra, PowerHouse Racing. I'm Ryan Scott. Let's open this bad bitch up. Woo, Lord. All right, guys, so here is the setup. So this is the PowerHouse Racing brushless fans, okay? I'm gonna keep some information down below for you guys, some PDFs on these exact fans, but the one big thing I wanna say is they are brushless. So one, they're gonna last longer. Number two, they're gonna draw a lot less power. For example, these at 100%, going hardcore, are gonna have 4,500 CFM between the two of them. But each fan only does max 25 amps. And actually talking to my buddy Tony at Stance Staggered Media, he said his fans with the AC on, sitting in the middle of summer heat, 100 degrees in DC, he said he only ever gets the fans to about 75%. Now he's using the non-brushless, but he's only ever seen about 75%, meaning power-wise. So for me, in my head, these flow even more. I'm thinking I'll probably be around 50%. So realistically, I'm gonna be using about 12 amps, which is like nothing. I could have actually powered it from my Nexus ECU. But I don't need to do that. I'm just gonna run it directly over to the fuse box itself. Now they do give you this kit, and it's actually designed to go to the factory battery. So it actually has this little kit here, okay? This plug and play is directly into it. These are already mounted on the shroud itself. So you've got this, the two adapters that go directly from the fans, comes over here. And off of it, you've got your ground strap. So you can put that on the battery or to the body itself. I'm putting it to the body because I have my battery going to the body on this side of the frame rail. So that's where I plan on putting this. Okay guys, so this is your strap itself. So what I mean by strap, this is your power wires and your ground that come directly from the fans here. So you have the two little blue connectors, you'll plug those in. Then these wires will come out this hole that they already have a grommet on. And then you've got three connectors or wires coming off of it. Here is your 2-wire Deutsch connector. This is going to be control that goes to your ECU. Here's your power wire that goes to your 100 amp fuse that then goes to this nice strap here that's designed to go to your battery. I personally am going to set it directly to my fuse box. I put bigger gauge wiring and stuff to it. That should work well for me. Again, these draw a lot less power than most, so it helps me a ton. Plus my fuse box isn't really doing much anymore. Almost most of it is not even powered, so it's just almost like a distribution block at this point. And then lastly here we have the ground. You could put this to your battery also up front, but in this case I'm putting it to the frame rail over here because my battery in the back goes to that frame rail on that side, comes to the front. So that's my way of doing it. I'm just gonna put this directly to the frame rail and that should ground it out. Now I'm very fortunate in the fact that this already has a 2-pin Deutsch connector that says fan on it here, control, and it's just a little fan symbol control. That's built into my Nexus ECU here that Jose did for me. So I can plug it directly into this. It does come with a jumper, so most people are gonna have this. This is designed to run inside the car, the fender or wherever, and then plug it into your ECU. I'm not gonna have to do that. So that's really nice. I'm gonna keep this, but I, in this case, do not need it. I'm the rarity, most people are, but I'm the rarity and do not need this. So this is what I need. Actually, don't need this either. I don't think yet, because I think I'm gonna have to make my own strap for the way I wanna do this. So right now, this is what I need. So what I'm gonna do is plug this in, and then try and mount this up, and then go from there. One other thing I want to show you guys too, there's a reason why it's like this. I can't remember if it's puller or pusher. I think it's a puller fan. So the reason they have to encompass it like this, it pulls the air out or whatever, so they have to encompass it. I personally like this because I'd rather see this pretty shroud than the plastic fans. And the reason for that being I'm eventually going to powder coat this. So when I powder coat it, excuse me, it's gonna look nice and just clean in there. I just think it'll look really good. And again, that's my personal opinion. Some people may like this, some people may not, but I like the fact that brushless keeps everything encompassed. They have these little flaps too, so when you're going down the road, it lets air come through it. Okay, so air is not getting trapped at all. It's taking every little bit and letting it come out of that radiator to help cool best as possible. Again, it's got the 4 little tabs here, and yeah, next thing we gotta do is mount this thing up. I'm pretty pumped right now. Try to see what this thing looks like on the car. Just disconnected my -20 AN line there, and let's get it on. Okay guys, so installing it is very straightforward, but I kind of want to show you where the electrical stuff goes because that's what everyone's going to ask for, right? They're going to be like, how do I run this, Ryan, right? That's the one area you guys really care about. I'm going to go over the install part, which is super easy. So obviously the fans are already attached, right? And then up top, you'll bolt it up to the factory bolt hole. So for my sake, I have a coil rack. Now, these bolt holes will be the same for a factory radiator too. They have the tabs here. They do supply the bolts. The only area that you will need something extra besides a bolt is right here. They supply this little aluminum spacer. As a factory one doesn't have it, so it makes it a little nice, but again, this will be in your baggie. It's a little aluminum spacer, and this puts it right up against the radiator then. Here you guys can see the distance between. It's nice, I can get my arm down in here now. Unlike my car, it's hard to get anything. If I wanted to take off the belts and stuff, it just, well, sucks. So I like having it set up now. It's just very easy to get to, access everything. It looks cleaner too looking in. So I wanted to show you guys this look. For me, I love looking at a 2JZ like this. With mine, it's not terrible, but that shroud really does kill the look. I don't know why, but to me, that really kills the look when you're looking at a 2JZ, because it has that long straight engine. It's very pretty looking, and then you got this. So I really like the look of this in general. But what I really wanted to go over is the electrical part. Again, so the wires, once you plug them in, come out this side to that little rubber grommet, which I showed you earlier. Comes out this hole here, and then for my sake, I have the battery in the back. So you're probably asking, well, Ryan, if I have the battery in the back, how do I hook this up? Again, if you didn't have the battery in the back, you could put the ground to the ground of the battery, the power to the power of the battery. Very, very simple. But if you don't, this is what you can do. I mounted the, see if you guys can see it here, right there. I mounted the little fuse right here to the body with a 10mm bolt. Okay, I ran the power wire from the actual kit, so from the plugs here, the two blue plugs out of the side, go directly into the fuse, okay? And from the back side of that fuse, it then runs the other wire up in here to the fuse box. There's a 12mm bolt here, which I've also run power to. It's like a, almost like a junction area. It's the same area that I run the starter power from too, is right in here in the fuse box. So again, let me come back right in this area here. Just hard to get to or see right now. I run a power from there, again, down to the 100 amp fuse, from the 100 amp fuse out to the other power wire that then goes in to the fans itself. Now again, for the grounds, all I did is run it over here. And if you can see if we can get it to focus in, because I'd like to show you guys. Let's get it to focus. Can you see the ground strap down there, right below the fuse blocks? Right there below the fuse block. See it down there? Okay, that's where I put the ground, again, right to the chassis, and it works just fine. And then the last part I had to do was actually pin it in to the actual standalone. Now for my setup with the Haltech Nexus, we can actually modulate this. So this does come with 2 wires, but you only had to use 1. So I only used 1 single wire that went into it. And then from the ECU, it literally tells the fans to kick on and then modulate it, how many percentage you want it to run it. So like, I can tell the ECU to run it 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. etc. Depending on the temperature or, you know, how fast the car is going. I can also tell it to say, hey, shut off over 30 miles an hour. You know, with a mechanical fan, it keeps spinning no matter what. With these, over like 35 or I think it said 40 miles an hour, I turn the fans off because at that point, the actual wind coming through is doing all your work. So there's no point in having the fans run and drawing power off your engine. Because if you're not like me, I was, I should say smart enough, but I did decide to upgrade the alternator to make sure all these electrical items aren't stressed out, right? You know, you're not having crazy draw. But in this case, if you don't, it is smart to turn something like this off because when you're starting to accelerate hard, you know, your ignition's working harder, your fuel pumps are working harder, everything else is working harder. If you can take that draw off, it's a good thing to do. So again, I have it shut off at a certain mile per hour to make it a little bit easier. Again, guys, it's that simple. I mean, you saw what's in the kit. I want to make this video longer, but there's really no need to be. Again, bolts right up. It takes a total of 4 bolts to get it on. Comes with the spacer. The wires come out this side. Grounded to the chassis. Ground or power to the fuse block to the next power strap to the fuse block or fuse box here. It's that simple. I mean, it's very straightforward. Again, if you have the battery up front, it's even easier. It bolts right up to the battery. Hopefully this is helpful, guys. Again, big thank you to PowerHouse Racing. They're always a great supporter. Sam and those guys over there, Brian, Lance, all you guys, Ryan, the other Ryan, not this Ryan, are always really kind and helpful to me. Customer support, I always say this, PHR has some of the best customer support in the industry, period. Hands down, they are some of the best. Just absolutely good dudes. If you guys have any questions, concerns, you guys can comment down below, or you can hit up Sam and those guys over at PowerHouse Racing, and they'll be able to answer any of your questions. Again, guys, thank you very much for tuning in today, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.